Good morning. This is Crystal with Whole New Perspective. Today I want to show you how I store my bulk food purchases that I get from Azure Standard. Now before I do that, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Several weeks ago I brought you along with me when I went to pick up my Azure Standard haul. And in that haul I had several large bags, 25-pound bags of red wheat berries and white wheat berries. And so I wanted to bring you back and just show you how I store all this bulk food that I purchased. So I plan to do that right now. So I store my bulk food in these 5-gallon buckets along with Mylar bags. I know some may say that it's overkill, but this is just how I've always stored them, and I haven't had any problems at all with any type of bugs or rodents. So it's worked for me so far, and I just want to keep it like that. So what I'll do is I'll just take it and I'll just pour it in. Now before I put this in, what I did was put them in my freezer for at least a week, and I've had them out of my freezer for a couple of weeks. And that's because I don't want any moisture to be in there, and I want to make sure there's no moisture. And so what I've done is just pour them in here, and I just close my bag. I don't seal it in any way. And because I have several of these bags, what I will do on top of that is I'll just put a couple bay leaves in there. And I don't know if that does anything or not, but I'll just continue to do that. So I'll just put a few bay leaves in there. And then I'll just add my lid. Now I'll show you the different types of containers that I have. This, of course, is a screw-on lid, and I'll show you that. And what I'll do is I'm going to take this off. Sometimes they'll peel off and other times they won't. So when they don't peel off, I'll just cut it off, and then I'm just going to tape it to this, and then I'll also do the same thing with the back. So I wanted to show you a few of the other things that I purchased from Azure Standard and how I store those items. So you've already seen the soft white wheat and how I store that. I just store it in the 5-gallon bucket, and inside that bucket I store them with Mylar bags. And this particular bucket is a screw-on leak type, as well as the red hard wheat. I store it the same way that I store the white wheat. And so they both have the Mylar bags, and they have the bay leaves with them. So everything I have Mylar bags down in these 5-gallon buckets. So I buy the pinto beans like that, I buy black beans like that, and navy beans. All of those I purchased in 25-pound bags. I also purchased grits like that in 25-pound bags. So we eat grits quite a bit, mainly for breakfast. So we mainly eat grits for breakfast, as well as oatmeal. These are oats. I purchased it in a 50-pound bag, and I can't put 50 pounds in my freezer. So the way that I freeze that is I just put them in individual bags like this. And so I'll put them in here, some of these. Then I'll just keep rotating them out of the 50-pound bag into the freezer until I have them all frozen, and I'm sure that the eggs, if there were any eggs inside of the wheat or the oatmeal, that they've been killed. Now I do put all of my grains in the freezer before I store them, because as I said, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna work through these grains, and so I want to make sure that any eggs that may have been in will not survive. And I do have different lids, and so I have this little gadget, and this will come in handy for you if you have these type of lids. These are reusable containers. They were from one of the big box stores, and they had icing in them. Yeah, they had icing in them. And so I just use this to open this, and it'll open it up. And I can just go around until it's open. And if you see on the top of that lid, that's when the store, I guess they used to track it as to when they opened it. And that was opened in 2013. And so, yeah, I have the Mylar bag, and it's done the same way. And then this is already open, but this bag, this opens with this as well. And you just open it the same way. And so these come in really handy because sometimes, especially me as I've gotten older, these are a little harder for me to just pull open. So I wanted to finish showing you the last few things that I haven't shown you. These are navy beans, small white beans, and black beans. Now I do buy other things in bulk, but this is all I wanted to bring out today to show you because I did need to do some refilling of my smaller containers. And yeah, I just wanted to show you how I store it. So I'll put a link from Azure Standard below, and that way you can go online and just take a look to see if there's anything that you'd be interested in purchasing. So thank you so much for coming along with me as I show you how I store my items that I buy from Azure Standard.